A demonstration is an action by a mass group or collection of groups of people in favor of a political or other cause, or people partaking in a protest against a cause of concern. It often consists of walking in a mass march formation and either beginning with or meeting at a designated endpoint or rally to hear speakers. It is different from mass meeting. Actions such as blockades and sit-ins may also be referred to as demonstrations. Demonstrations can be non-violent or violent, or can begin as non-violent and turn violent depending on the circumstances. Sometimes riot police or other forms of law enforcement become involved. In some cases this may be in order to try to prevent the protest from taking place at all. In other cases, it may be to prevent clashes between rival groups, or to prevent a demonstration from spreading and turning into a riot. The term has been in use since the mid-19th century, as was the term monster meeting, which was coined initially with reference to the huge assemblies of protesters inspired by Daniel O'Connell in Ireland. Demonstrations are a form of activism, usually taking the form of a public gathering of people in a rally or walking in a march. Thus, the opinion is demonstrated to be significant by gathering in a crowd associated with that opinion. Demonstrations can promote a viewpoint regarding a public issue, especially relating to a perceived grievance or social injustice. A demonstration is usually considered more successful if more people participate. Research shows that anti-government demonstrations occur more frequently in affluent countries than in poor ones. Historian Eric Hobsbawm wrote of demonstrations, next to sex, the activity combining bodily experience and intense emotion to the highest degree is the participation in a mass demonstration at a time of great public exaltation. Unlike sex, which is essentially individual, it is by its nature collective. Like sex, it implies some physical action, marching, chanting slogans, singing, through which the merger of the individual in the mass, which is the essence of the collective experience, finds expression. There are many types of demonstrations, including a variety of elements. These may include: demonstrations are sometimes spontaneous gatherings, but are also utilized as a tactical choice by movements. They often form part of a larger campaign of nonviolent resistance, often also called civil resistance. Demonstrations are generally staged in public, but private demonstrations are certainly possible, especially if the demonstrators wish to influence the opinions of a small or very specific group of people. Demonstrations are usually physical gatherings, but virtual or online demonstrations are certainly possible. Topics of demonstrations often deal with political, economic, and social issues, particularly with controversial issues. Sometimes groups of people opposed to the aims of a demonstration may themselves launch a counter-demonstration with the aim of opposing the demonstrators and presenting their view. Clashes between demonstrators and counter-demonstrators may turn violent. Government-organized demonstrations are demonstrations which are organized by a government. The Islamic Republic of Iran, the People's Republic of China, Republic of Cuba, the Soviet Union and Argentina, among other nations, have had government-organized demonstrations. Sometimes the date or location chosen for the demonstration is of historical or cultural significance, such as the anniversary of some event that is relevant to the topic of the demonstration. Locations are also frequently chosen because of some relevance to the issue at hand. For example, if a demonstration is targeted at issues relating to foreign nation, the demonstration may take place at a location associated with that nation, such as an embassy of the nation in question. Protest marches and demonstrations are a common non-violent tactic. They are thus one tactic available to proponents of strategic non-violence. However, the reasons for avoiding the use of violence may also derive not from a general doctrine of non-violence or pacifism, but from considerations relating to the particular situation that is faced, including its legal, cultural and power political dimensions. This has been the case in many campaigns of civil resistance. Some demonstrations and protests can turn, at least partially, into riots or mob violence against objects such as automobiles and businesses. Bystanders and the police. Police and military authorities often use non-lethal force or less lethal weapons, such as tasers, rubber bullets, pepper spray, and tear gas against demonstrators in these situations. Sometimes violent situations are caused by the preemptive or offensive use of these weapons, which can provoke, destabilize, or escalate a conflict. As a known tool to prevent the infiltration by agents provocateurs, the organizers of large or controversial assemblies may deploy